bookmarks that are in your package, because I'm the book lady. I saw a bookmark on Facebook the other day that I really need. It says, "This is where I fell asleep." I used to be able to stay up and read, but now I get maybe a chapter. I have a couple of books of my own, so I can't blame Deb and the gals for that. But one is, I don't know, maybe a whole bunch of you people use the Christian Planner. Hey, I see like 57 blank books. Well, Deb, you don't. Deb, she journals everything. Yeah.
But not that one. Not that one.
Not that one? This is on ChristianPlanner.com.
Oh, okay.
Okay. And this year, mine is turquoise. Next year, it will be purple. And yeah, and it comes in a nice box for giving to yourself. How it works in my house. Just a few of the features are, well, it became a scrapbook of the year for me, is what happened. And I went to Walmart and put these tabs in because it has the whole month, yeah, make a liar out of me, a whole month here, so you can see what's going on, what's coming down the pike, and then it gives you the week, so you can write down what you're doing, any blessings, anything. You do it, it's your thing. I put Sunday sermon notes here. Obviously I don't take too many notes. And I have even been known to do a little drawing, and I use Our Daily Bread, and some of those are really poignant, so I'll just rip it out of the book and put it in this book, and I can go back and review it. Oh, I gotta show you okay, maybe I won't. We took a cruise last New Year's, and we were in the Caribbean, and then we had to go home. And I was thinking of transitions, and how the whole world was transitioning into a new year. We were going back home to transition into a new weather climate, and so I drew this picture. It's really cool, but I can't find it, of palm trees on a beach. Oh, here it is. Palm trees on a beach, and the palm fronds fell down and changed into snowflakes that became a pile of snow. And then on top of it, I wrote the famous Ecclesiastes, chapter 3, there's a time for everything, a reason for every activity under heaven. You know how it goes. So Simon and Garfunkel wrote this. And then I discovered a new Hillsong song this year that, I mean, when you talk about God speaking to you in music, this makes me cry. It's So Will I. And so I wrote down all of the lyrics and put it in there, and it's just a complete devotion in itself. And then later on, it got to be, oh wait, I want to go back here. I'll show you how it became a, I should have this mark. Okay. Oh, in June I did a review of the first 6 months. I'm such a teacher. That's just so crazy. Don't do that. But anyway, in May, our granddaughter, a lot of you know Jessica, she graduated from the University of Nebraska along with her significant other who became her fiance on that day too. So I have my pictures here of that, and see, they're kissing. It's cute. And then just pictures of my family and more drawings and more stuff. There's Jesse's wedding dress. It's a secret. So anyway, I use it. It holds me accountable. There are some blank pages in there when I was a slacker and didn't get anything done. But that's a learning experience too for me. And see, this is going to be my new one. And at lunch, I'll have it out there. Anybody can look at it if you want. Okay. This book kicked my booty all over the Bible. It's little, but it's mighty. This is Beth Moore, Praying God's Word. And Kelly, this was your book? This is yours?
I've read it, but I don't think I've read it.
It's little, but it's fat with meat. And I just opened one of these up, And, well, okay, let me tell you how she formatted this. She talks about the book in the front, and then every chapter is a topic. Let me give you just a little menu here. Overcoming idolatry, overcoming unbelief, overcoming pride, overcoming deception, the insecurity of feeling in love, feelings of rejection, addiction, food-related strongholds, overcoming ongoing feelings of guilt, despair resulting from loss, unforgiveness, depression, sexual strongholds, and overcoming the enemy. So I just picked one through here, and she gives an introduction in each chapter, and I counted how many scriptures she listed to pray concerning guilt, and there were 62. He said, nobody but Beth Moore could do that. And so I have a problem with guilt, because every day I think about Beth. What could I have done better? What could I have done more? And I feel guilty, and I am in the clutches of the enemy. And that's when I got my booty kicked all over the Bible on this one. And it's not acceptable to Jesus for me to be guilty, feel guilty. No, I mean, it's good sometimes, but, you know, forgiving yourself, for me, is harder than forgiving anybody else. I don't know about you guys. Lisa TerKeurst, and see, it looks like it's upside down. That's because her world turned upside down when her husband was unfaithful and left. And the title of it is, It's Not Supposed to Be This Way. And as I read this, Alice Weingart came to my mind. Many of you know the struggles that her family is going through, and her son Derek. And sometimes when we look at that, we think that's impossible, but it's not. Listen to this. News comes at us to tell us what we are dealing with. Truth comes from God and then helps us process all we are dealing with. News and truth aren't always one and the same. My sweet friend, Shantae Feldman, reminded me of this a few years ago. An email she sent me about a difficulty I was walking through, and she said, Lisa, this is news. This is not truth. What the doctor gave me was news, honest news based on test results and medical facts. But I have access to a truth that transcends news. So when you pray for the Weingarts, Derek and Alice, pray for the truth that transcends news. Pray for peace, for God to be glorified, and for strength as they walk through this road. And then, of course, along with that, I mean, that just stood up off the page and slapped me across the face, like, pay attention. That was awesome. But then she also has a little bit of humor. Gotta read the colonoscopy story because it's hilarious. For example, last year I had to get a colonoscopy. Without going into too much detail, that's where they put a tube with a tiny camera attached in your back door and do a little examination of your large intestine. I know and very much recognize that even the description of that is way awkward, but the experience of it is even more so, especially if your name is Lisa TerKeurst. I thought I knew what to expect, but my experience didn't line up with my expectation, and I felt very off guard by the whole ordeal. First, you cannot eat for a whole day leading up to it. And then you have to drink some crazy stuff that basically power washes your plumbing. I'm gonna be quiet. So even before the procedure, I kept thinking, you have got to be kidding me. When everything is all set, they put you to sleep to do the actual procedure. But on very rare occasion, the patient's fear or metabolism or absolute desire to be in control of something crazy causes the patient's body to override the anesthesia, and they wake up during the procedure. Let's not psychoanalyze all that, because I am one of those people. I woke up. Now, of course, I don't remember waking up, and I didn't know I had woken up in the middle of the situation until my doctor told me the next day. That was a fun conversation. I turned all the shades of red as I slowly realized the doctor now has a new favorite story to tell whenever asked, what was one of your most unusual, hilarious cases. Supposedly, I raised my hand and said, excuse me, but this isn't working for me. I'm in a bit of pain and discomfort. I must go now. And then I jumped off the table. Frowned at the air as if picking up my purse and said, goodbye. I can't even. What in the world? Please say it isn't so. The doctor calmly replied, well, Lisa, you might want me to remove the